Hello guys, this is Mk.10, and today's video is going to be an inbox review. We're going to be doing a review of this kit here, which is Takom's new Chieftain Mk.10. They also released a Mk.11 and a Mk.5/5P at the same time. I got this one because it has the cool camo, the Berlin camouflage. So this is my first Takom kit. As you guys know, I'm mainly into World War II stuff, mainly German and Russian stuff, and I also do like modern stuff, but mainly Russian, Soviet modern stuff. Just for some reason that stuff appeals to me, and modern NATO stuff doesn't really. But this one, I don't know, I like the Chieftain actually, and especially that camouflage. I mean, it's going to be really hard to mask, but that looks awesome. Also, you can hear that something's loose in there. I'm not sure why. But as you can see on this side of the box, we have here's the other two kits: a Mk.11 and Mk.5P. So those are the two ones. And this one also comes with an option for this camouflage as well. Just it's a earlier one with that like Chobham armor or something. I'm not really too familiar with these. But let's look here. We got hull bits, a bunch of sprues, turret. Those look like the track pads because it's got tracks. That's probably what's loose in there. We got 200 tracks. It's got individual track pads, which are the rubber bits on there, which I guess you could probably leave off and paint separately and glue on. Might be easier. And we got decals in there, plenty of them. Photo etch. Looks like clear stuff, and a gun mask. That's cool. Polycaps. Probably for the gun. Alright, let's open this up. Alrighty, so inside the box we have, oh, it's actually a big tank. Upper and lower sprues in a bag together here. So it's pretty big. I got a BMP here, which actually is pretty big on its own. I'll take a closer look at these in a minute. Got turret halves here, upper and lower, with a texture on it, it looks like. And yep, here are all the individual track rubber pad bits and bags. There appear to be a lot of them. And yes, I have an empty plastic bag here and one piece of track. So I think there might have been a bag explosion inside there. Well, we got more bits here. I'm not exactly certain about all this, but these are actually pretty small compared to what I'm used to sometimes. Clear parts, side skirts and gun. Just looking quickly. Number of sprues. Just tracks going everywhere. And wheels, and looks like tires or something else. That's cool. Alrighty, so in the bottom of the bag, buried under a bunch of spare track links that were poured everywhere, I have this here, which is the instruction manual. I have a correcting piece here, and a bunch of things, photo etch decals, stuff like that, that are all sealed together here. So we'll open this up. So first we have photo etch, which actually is fairly thin photo etch. Let's take a look at that, but looks pretty nice actually. Lots of grills there for the engine deck, I'm going to assume, but lots of PE, but it doesn't look like excessive amounts, just vents, and then we're going to have a bunch of little like shackles there. I'm not sure exactly what all these things are, but they do look very nice. And only a couple attachment points per, and they're very small, so shouldn't be too hard to clean those up. Okay, we got decals, decals over here, whatever you call them. Again, I'm not sure about the marking options. I don't understand these markings at all. They're just numbers to me. But we got flags, names, and like license plates and things. Is there only one in there? Yeah, one sheet of decals. So this must be the correction that there was. Okay, remove this part. And then we have, this looks like the painting and marking guide, maybe? That's cool. It's actually a separate sheet. That's nice. Never seen this before. Zombie tank. Alright. Here's the Berlin camouflage I was talking about. This is 3-tone camo. It's kind of boxy, and then also the engine deck is just a standard green color. Then we have a couple more here. That's cool with the markings on it. Looks pretty nice, and all the colors are called out with MIG ammo. Okay, so here's the instruction sheet. So I'm actually going to call it more of a booklet It's actually like high quality paper, and it's not a massive thing that's going to fold out and like across your entire desk. And yeah, it's actually going to be small, compact, and concise. Here we got a little bit of explanation here talking about the ARM system and what made this different and everything. I'm not going to read it out because I'm going to take half an hour to do that, and I suck at reading things out loud. But there's history on there, which I always like to read. So, got tips on removing photo etch and stuff in there. Applying decals, decals, whatever you call them. Sprue layout here once again, as there was on the side of the box. And then here, let's just start looking at these instruction sheets a little bit. So it starts, of course, as always, with the wheels. And they're more of like a 3D CAD style. It's kind of cool. I've never seen that before, because I always build Dragon kits, I guess. But this is very nice. Actually, I like how it's, not only is it like a booklet, but I'm going to compare this to a Dragon instruction sheet if I have one around here somewhere. But the Dragon sheet, of course, as I was talking about, you have to fold it out like that. It's much bigger than just this little thing here. You only have a couple of steps on, and each step is actually only a little few parts being put on. So that's actually going to be a lot handier and won't be covered up by all the sprues I'm going to have lying around. Doesn't look too cluttered at all. And they have actually little segmented areas instead of just kind of like sections on a blank sheet. And they have a bunch of explanations and stuff there in words. This looks really nice, actually. Yeah, just looking through it a little more. It does not look overly complicated. Well, I guess that's one thing about modern armor. It's kind of sleek, I guess, compared to World War II stuff. Doesn't have that many. I'm not saying it doesn't have a lot of detail parts on it. Of course it does, but especially on areas like the turret. But there are a lot of areas where it's kind of like sleek and open. And more advertisements for other kits they make here. That's cool. And that's the end there. So that's just a quick look at the instruction manual to let you know what it's like. So looking at the sprues now. So we actually have parts kind of on this sprue with the bottom of the turret. I'm not sure where these go, but actually that's a pretty good idea. I'm just storing a couple extra parts there. Bottom of the turret's pretty basic there because of course it's the bottom of the turret. We have this, which is the top of the turret, of course. If you look closely, we're actually, I mean, there's detail on there. There's a nice weld seam at the back, but many things are still to be added on, of course, all the parts. And we also have this here, which I think is what they called the gun mask, but this is actually a kind of like rubbery plastic gun canvas kind of cover thing. It's very flexible, but it'll probably take normal plastic glue. Right, so the hull is two halves, as you always find. This is kind of interesting how it kind of slots in there like that. It's cool. This is where the bogies are going to go on. There isn't much on here because, of course, everything is still to be put on. But over here, look at that. We got nice details on there. I think we even have writing on there if it'll zoom in properly. Let's try. But there are words on there. You can also see how there is a texture to the metal. I'm not sure if it should be cast or if that's just more of a rolled steel texture. But you can see how there is writing on the field filler there. It does look very, very crisp. I don't see any flash on here at all. It looks really good. Any weld seams on here? I don't really see any, but more markings there. Alright, next up let's take a look at these track pads. That's probably not much to look at because they're just little rectangles of plastic. There's probably 200 of them like there are tracks, but 100 per side is usually what you find on a tank. So of course only 2 attachment points on there, and they're kind of recessed compared to the actual full height of the part, so cleaning them up it's going to be obvious where like the part ends and that. sprue nub attaches to it, so clean them up shouldn't be too hard. Alright, this sprue here, of course I'm not sure what this is, what any of these parts are. They just look like various boxes, and I got, like, I guess final drives here for the transmission, kind of like where the drive sprocket will go. Looks like stowage boxes, maybe these will go on the side of the hull. I don't really know anything about this, but I'm just going to let you look at the detail of the parts. Those might be fire extinguishers. There is no interior to this kit, those are going to be external fire extinguishers. It all looks very nice. Very crisp, I haven't seen any flash at all so far. And the sprue attachment points look actually fairly small. You can see there, they're very small, and also the sprues are kind of square shaped. I've never seen that before, but that's interesting. Okay, we have tow cables here, which do have a number of attachment points along them, which of course might ruin the thread on it kind of effect, but of course they're very small attachment points, and I'm not sure where these tow cables go in the vehicle. They might be flexible, they might have to like kind of wrap around a little bit. And yep, they do look very nice though. And again, they are very, very crisp. Here we have the gun, which is in halves, but it does have a nice thermal gun sleeve texture on it. Of course, it would be nice if this was like a one-piece metal barrel, but it's not smooth. It's got this texture on it, so I don't know if you could do that. Unless you're gonna like wrap it up with something. But that looks really cool. This looks like the rear plate. Got some wiring on there. These are these sides, like side skirts kind of the hull. Actually, this sprue only has a couple parts on it, just side skirts, tow cables, rear, and the gun. Alright, here we have things I recognize. A cupola and grenade launchers. So, I'm just going to take a look. Again, the detail all looks very good. I don't see anything I'm going to complain about because there's no flash. There's small attachment points. There's only a few attachment points and they're kind of like on the edges. It's not going to be hard to clean these up at all. Very nice molding and everything. I can't complain right now. Looks like an M240, I guess, or something about that. That's actually really crisp there. Look at that. Oof. Maybe that's for the top of the turret. I really don't know. Alright, this sprue here has a couple of small bits on it. It's a G sprue. It's kind of carved. That's cool. Just a few bits. Oh, actually we got grill detail in there. It's very deep. And it's very, the louvers are very thin. That's probably going to be a photo etch sheet like we saw going over top of those. Alright, one last sprue here before we get to the wheel ones. This has more of this, I'm not sure if it's like slat armor, probably not, but I've seen a couple of these kind of things throughout the sprues. Yeah, probably a side to the turret here, or something along those lines. See more wire details on it there. Let's take a look at those. They are nice. Like, they're not faint. They do stick off quite a bit, so you give that a wash, it's going to look like it's actually sitting on there rather than just kind of like faintly molded into the plastic. As always, more details. That all looks very nice. Alright. Plastic vision ports and things here. I got like a, this must be for that weird sight thing that's on the side of the turret. And now we got the wheels and stuffed sprues. Two of these in the bag here. Very large, many wheels. It just looks like wheels and suspension, honestly. It's got like a shock absorber-esque thing there. It's probably how the suspension works. Kind of like an E8 Sherman almost, I guess, maybe. I don't know. And just wheels everywhere, but they do look very nice. And these do look like separate rubber tire areas. I'm not certain at all. But if they are, that's always really nice because you can paint that separately and slide it on afterwards. So you have to kind of tape them on if you're going to put the tracks on, and kind of like leave the tracks as a separate solid rung on the outside. Pin marks there, but of course you have to have pin marks, and that's the inside of the part. Other side is just the other side of the parts, I guess. Nothing really fancy on this sprue, just the wheels. But it still looks really good. Alright, oh look, we have 2 poly caps in here. And yes, here are our tracks. Now, I'm pretty sure this was a random error because there were other ones in the store, and when I picked them up to look at them, they didn't jingle around, and this one I ordered online, and now the bag popped. So I'm going to assume that this is not a common error. I've never had this happen before, and it's not bad at all. I'll update if I've lost any, but I don't think, because the bag was sealed. I mean, the box was sealed with the bag, so yes, it's not too bad. Take a look at these tracks here. Actually, they're very crisp. That's where that rubber pad I was talking about goes. There's a number on there. Hope there's not hands, like a certain side that each track needs to go on. They all look the same. I'm just going to see if I can figure out where they attached. I guess they mold. I guess the knockoff point is right at the bottom there. But I mean, like if I have a Panzer III Magic track, there's always very faint pin marks there and outside the drive, not the drive sprocket, what am I talking about, the guide horn. But this one has just a very faint single thing there. I'm impressed that they haven't had any mold marks on this at all. It's very crisp. And individual link tracks are always great. I hate sanding them off sprues. This won't be too much work actually, because sometimes you have to sand these off. You know, usually the attachment points on a track is going to be on the nubs there. You have to make sure it's round, otherwise tracks don't fit together. These ones are just squares, so it's going to be easy to clean them up. And that's everything in the box there. It does look like there's not a lot of parts in this kit, but I mean, it's not excessive by any means. Just a couple of sprues in here, wheels, and maybe about 5 or 6 more for other parts. It does look very impressive though. I do like how the instructions were very clear. I love that booklet, how it's actually quite small and there's just a couple of steps in there. Yes, I haven't built the kit, of course. I've never built Takom kit, so I've got no idea how it's going to build up, but just in case you guys are curious about what this kit brings to offer, I think it looks pretty impressive in there. I'm not sure I'm going to be building this up, but I'll have to find some kind of masking thing for that camouflage because it looks cool, but I suck at masking, so yeah. As always, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed the review. I guess I would recommend the kit. I don't see why I wouldn't. It looks really impressive. Lots of good parts in there. I didn't see any flash, which is quite uncommon. And the parts were nicely molded on the sprues with very few attachment points, small attachment points. Everything looked clear. Probably won't be a hassle of a build at all. That's nothing. It's not a big problem at all. It's just they're out of the bag for me. I have to cut it open, I guess. So yes, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, this is Panzer 36, and goodbye.